Story 1. That magical healing bed from Elysium. I would love to be instantly diagnosed and cured of everything wrong with me. Or maybe the perpetual energy generator from Invader Zim. A perpetual energy generator that works without a fuel source, simply because a super scientist decided to make it. Story 2. In Star Trek, the original series, Dr. Leonard McCoy had an injection gun that seemed to cure every ailment known to mankind. I would like to have 2 of these guns. Story 3. Warp engines. But not the Warhammer 40,000 version. The Star Trek version. The Warhammer 40,000 version is terrifying. The Star Trek version is just a really fast way to travel. Story 4. The shrink ray. If you shoot someone in the arm, would their whole body shrink or just that arm? Just the upper arm or the whole arm? The hands and fingers? Maybe just that bone or patch of skin? If you shrink their head, would the insides remain the same size and get crushed by the skull? Oh God, I don't want the shrink ray. Maybe the sleep ray. Story 5. The Babel fish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You stick it in your ear and it immediately allows you to understand all languages. Story 6. The truth machine is a term often used to describe blockchain technology. It provides a reliable and transparent way to record transactions and verify data without the need for intermediaries. Blockchain ensures data integrity by creating a decentralized ledger that is immutable and secure. This technology has applications in various sectors, including finance, supply chain management, and digital identity verification. Story 7. The medical scanner and regenerator transporters, the holodeck from Star Trek, or back to medical supplies from Star Wars. Story 8. A universal medical scanner like Star Trek's tricorder is a handheld device that instantly diagnoses illnesses, injuries, and internal issues without pain or delay. It could revolutionize healthcare, especially in remote or underserved areas, and save millions of lives. Story 9. The alien knowledge machine from the terrible movie adaptation of Battlefield Earth. All the knowledge in the universe is downloaded straight into your brain. Story 10. That device from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy detects what you are craving and manifests it for you. As someone who never really has an appetite and struggles to find food they want to eat, that would be amazing. Story 11. Wonder Woman's truth lasso. Lasso a fat orange man, a few senators, and Supreme Court judges and start asking questions. Story 12. I think the holodeck from Star Trek. Imagine the things you can experience in that device. Story 13. I don't know what they are called, but the portal where you can dematerialize and then materialize somewhere else would help me a lot in my job. Also, the laser guns are pretty cool. Story 14. Emergency medical hologram from Star Trek Voyager. Has mobile emitter, advanced medical knowledge, and is ethical. Could help many people. Story 15. Social norms are inventions according to my history classes, so I would want a real egalitarian post-scarcity economy where greed is no longer a motivating factor. Hey, it is a science fiction question. Most of the other answers are science eventually. Story 16. Star Trek replicators. If they were freely available, hunger would end instantly. Now everyone could eat and have clothes. However, those capitalists would hoard it. Story 17. How has no one asked for an energy source yet? I do not care if it is a fusion reactor the size of a jerry can or an arc reactor that powers a building. There are several fictional sources of unlimited clean energy that would really benefit the Earth. Story 18. The galactic milieu from Julian May's Many-Colored Land series is a telepathic hive mind connecting every person. Story 19. Teleporters. Imagine how much more usable land there would be in a city without roads or parking spaces, and how much more spread out the population could be. Buy a house in Michigan for $100,000. Get up and go to work in Los Angeles. Take a weekend trip anywhere in the world with no travel time. Story 20. Star Trek replicators. Raytom's waste into food. An empty plate will be turned into a cup. We already clean water with waste treatment plants, converting urine into clean water. Treated waste is used as fertilizer for crops. Star Trek simply made this process advanced and high-tech. Story 21. Replicators from Star Trek. The writers created a technology so powerful that they had to ignore it in episode after episode to avoid a boring show. If you can convert matter to energy and back again, you essentially eliminate scarcity for basic needs. That is how Star Trek was able to envision a society without money. There is no need for money when you can replicate a modular replicator using rocks as the base material. Who says you need to use that energy to recreate matter? Have a replicator that converts tiny amounts of matter into energy, maybe selectively pulling carbon dioxide molecules out of the atmosphere, then use that energy wherever you need it. Suddenly, fossil fuels are worthless to extract. In fact, most mining becomes pointless. Many jobs would be eliminated, but most people would have no need to work. The only thing truly valuable would be information. People capable of creating ideas, inventions, art, and entertainment would be the most valued members of society, along with those who provide services. A chief executive officer deciding to charge $1,000 for a life-saving medication is irrelevant when anyone can replicate it. The people truly valued would be the scientists capable of inventing that drug. Story 22. Teleportation. There are so many places I want to go, but after years of traveling the world for work, I am tired of the hassle of travel. Story 23. Regenerators and medical units should be part of the healthcare package and available to the public rather than private. Healing, which includes restoring limbs, repairing damage, and fixing genetic abnormalities, would be free or affordable in countries where that is practiced. Upgrading the body, except for breast size and genital size, will be priced. Transgender individuals can receive transition services for free if they provide notes from 2 different doctors. Otherwise, they will pay for it like an upgrade but will receive a 50% discount. Story 24. Physical teleportation was performed using blueprints by a person who has traveled to the past. Traveling to a different country is like moving to the 1500s. Fortunately, there is no need to stay in those unpleasant places for too long. Story 25. Probably warp travel or hyperdrive. I think many of the other technologies are very difficult but possible. I do not think, without some kind of magic help, we will ever have faster-than-light travel. Story 26. The Gay Deceiver from Robert Heinlein's Lazarus Long series contains a world-as-myth drive or something similar. With it, I could go to any fictional universe and get anything I wanted right after I rename the device. The name has not aged well. Story 27. In Stargate, on one of the Asgard motherships, they had a machine that could fabricate anything you could think of. Story 28. Faster-than-light travel is coming to reality, bringing truly revolutionary changes to science as we know it and opening up space to interstellar exploration by humans. Story 29. Portable, localized gravity adjuster. Move your major appliances with one hand. Want to pick up a house and set it on a new foundation? Still just one hand. Want to stack 10 freight container ships on top of each other? Maybe 2 hands. Story 30. If we are being very specific, the faster-than-light drive from Battlestar Galactica, the ability to instantaneously move from one point in space to another many light years away, would be groundbreaking in ways that are impossible to imagine. Story 31. The God's Eye program from the Fast and Furious franchise. Access to every surveillance technology on the planet. I promise to limit my evil to the bad guys and billionaires. Story 32. The TARDIS from Doctor Who. Space travel, time travel, translation of all languages. Yes. Story 33. Improbability drive. Because as chaotic as this world is, maybe it will flash me into a reality that actually makes sense. Story 34. I would like to say time travel, but that comes with many logical problems and leads to paradoxes. Instead, I would like to have a window to look into the past. Not to change anything in the past, just to look at it and understand it. This would probably revolutionize our justice system since any crime could be resolved by just looking into the past, but it could also make some science fields obsolete. Think about paleontology. Why study dinosaurs by examining certain fossils when we can just watch them? Story 35. I'm sure it had some sort of negative ending, but I remember a book where people could replicate themselves to do multiple tasks in a day and then recombine themselves at the end of the day. There are many days I wish I could split myself up and take care of all the things that need to be done at once. Story 36. That machine is found in many science fiction stories where you put a sick or broken body in, and a fully healthy and complete body comes out a couple of hours later. Story 37. Hyper-advanced nanobots, probably. Hey nanobots, turn into a spaceship. Hey nanobots, cure my cancer. Hey nanobots, find and harvest gold on the molecular level and reform it into a lump at my feet. Story 38. Teleporters. Think of the carbon footprint we could reduce by teleporting wherever we wanted to go, assuming teleporting did not have a huge carbon footprint as well. Story 39. Stargate would make traveling from one country to another easy and faster. There would be no need for long-haul flights. Story 40. Hyperdrive. While the Ian from Anderson's Technic Civilization or Forrester Humankind Commonwealth would be useful, the one from Turtledove's Road Not Taken would be the most revolutionary. Story 41. Replicators, or whatever they were actually called, are the replication devices in Transmetropolitan. Story 42. Either general molecular assemblers which would change the world overnight and rewrite humanity's concept of what is possible, or faster than light travel, which would rewrite our understanding of the universe and our concept of what is possible. And forget Star Trek warp drive. I want faster than light travel like in Elite Dangerous, where getting from one end of the galaxy to the other can be done in less than a month with a little dedication and the right ship. Story 43. I think it is quite likely that many of the inventions in science fiction have potential to become reality at some point in the future. It is similar to the build it and they will come philosophy. We can observe many items from science fiction that scientists and engineers are actively working to bring to reality. As our understanding of matter and physics improves, if we one day reach the point where we can control all states of energy and matter, most of what we have dreamed of will be within grasp. Story 44. Replicators and some form of cheap, clean, limitless energy to power them. A post-scarcity society might actually give humanity a fighting chance at survival, as long as we keep capitalists out of it. Story 45. Lightspeed. There are exoplanets out there ripe for exploration, but we will never see them. Ironically, though, the people who send us there will be centuries long dead by the time we get back to tell them about it. Story 46. Artificial intelligence capable of acting as a perfect government and making all the correct decisions in the interest of the people. I am talking about some type of super artificial intelligence that could do in an instant decades of work and is capable of thinking and understanding problems beyond our human brains, basically our hardware limits. It is quite a cool concept. Story 47. Syndrome's zero-point energy from the incredible or gene splicing technology from any science fiction source allows you to point at anything and lift it effortlessly. The ability to rewrite deoxyribonucleic acid on the fly would be world-changing. Story 48. I am too nostalgic and curious not to have a time travel device for the past and future. Soon the world will be filled with paradoxical versions of me. I will have the nuclear device ready when the time comes. Story 49. A working, stable, livable Dyson sphere. With virtually unlimited energy, we could become a post-scarcity society within decades. Story 50. From the Vorkosigan series, uterine replicators. Put in fertilized egg. Wait, decant healthy baby. No health risks from pregnancy and birth. Amazing. Story 51. I would like to know things instantly without the process of learning. A machine that transfers data directly to the brain, like in the Matrix, would be very useful. Story 52. I have an ongoing fantasy where my bed is a little time rider from Legends of Tomorrow with Gideon. I am with some attractive girl. We are in a rainforest, a shopping mall protected by Gideon's force field, and more. It helps me sleep. Story 53. Nanotechnology is like my dream science fiction technology, especially the biomod kind of nanotechnology. Story 54. Holodeck from Star Trek. My heart says bring the replicator so food can be made and shared instantaneously, but my depression and libido say the holodeck. Story 55. Honorable mention goes to the Bacta tank. Cures burns and other physical damage. Plus, who doesn't want to just relax? Floating in warm healing liquid. It's like going into a giant womb and hiding from the world. Story 56. A machine where you can insert documents, and someone else can receive copies of the same documents wherever they are. That would be cool. Story 57. Warp drive from Star Trek has inspired me since I watched my first episode in the 1980s as a child. I want to travel the stars, not just go to space, but also visit other star systems in search of life. Story 58. Nano implants from the Star Carrier books not only provide perfect health but also function as an advanced smartphone with a personal artificial intelligence secretary and can interface with technology. Story 59. Culture Minds. Beneficent super artificial intelligences that respect privacy, autonomy, and the right to exist for all living things. Story 60. Cyberdecks and all prerequisite technology, as described in Shadowrun, are portable computers without regular input or output devices except for a bare minimum for maintenance. Instead, they connect to a person's brain through an implanted socket. A cyberdeck takes input and sends output directly to the brain, allowing the user to perceive and interact with virtual space as if it were real, though with limited precision. It also uses the human brain to complement its hardware, making it a much more powerful device than any modern personal computer. It may not be the safest or most useful technology, but I really want to try it out. Story 61. Asimov's spaceship. Put your palms on the console, then look in all directions. Mind pilot that ship to wherever is charted. Story 62. Dyson spheres around a black hole siphoning its energy would produce so much power that the world would no longer need to pay for electricity. Story 63. Teleporters. But the ones that bend space and time to move you from one place to another, not the ones that disassemble you quantum by quantum and then reassemble you somewhere else. The ones that do not kill you every time. Story 64. I want the Starship Enterprise along with the knowledge of how it works and a crew with the same knowledge. We are going to space. Story 65. Time and relative dimension in space. I would travel a lot through time and space. Then, there is simply visiting places that have alien life. Go visit Yellowstone in the 1700s. Deliver a bag of salt to some Romans in exchange for gold. Go to an alien planet and get a wheelbarrow full of diamonds. Story 66. Seriously? I want the power Klaatu has in the 1951 original to stop all power, including weapons and nukes on Earth. Then give us the choice to either make peace or be destroyed. Klaatu Barada Nikto. Story 67. There is a device used in Star Trek. You just wave it over someone, and it tells you exactly what is wrong with them. Sometimes it can be used to heal people too. It would help a lot with medical issues, especially complex ones. Story 68. I wish I had the Clock Stopper's watch. It would let me pause time for a while and enjoy what is around me. I just need to take longer breaks during the day to properly recalibrate myself. Story 69. My gut reaction is lightsaber, of course, but I am almost certain I would end up cutting off one of my own limbs. So I will choose the holodeck from Star Trek instead. That thing is pretty cool. Story 70. Element Zero from Mass Effect. Faster than light travel, artificial gravity, and the ability to adjust mass. Story 71. It is a toss-up between replicators and the holographic environment. Potentially, both could be the end of humanity as we know it, but they could also do a lot of good. Story 72. The Ensemble from the Enderverse. Imagine no communication lag anywhere. We could talk to the Voyager probes in real time. Story 73. Warp Drive. Just how cool would it be to have a real-life United States ship Enterprise NCC 1701, or A, B, C, D, E, to explore the galaxy? Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.